Hello and welcome to JANA'S Hut. In today's episode I'd like to talk to you about this mat that I've made for my playset piece. I thought that it needed a good bit of ground to put my pieces on, so I've made this from a cutting mat. This is the underside of it. This is for chicken. It came in a pack like this. It took me quite a while to make this, it's quite large, and what I did was I used PVA glue to attach the sand to the top layer, and then I painted it. It did take me a few attempts to get this right until I was happy with the results. My first attempt looks like this. When I began the process of making these mats, I thought I could just go and buy some sand, open the bag, pour it onto some cardboard that I've put PVA on, and then hopefully paint it. As you can see, this piece of cardboard has warped and it's pretty heavy. If you are going to do this, make sure that you let the sand dry out before you put it down, because basically what I was making here was a sand cake on top of this. I thought if I covered it in some black paint with PVA, it would stick. This isn't flat, so nothing's going to stand on it in a nice way that I want. Plus the sand keeps coming off. I did make these two pieces using a similar method, but what I did with these was I mixed the sand with the PVA and then flattened it on to the surface of this. It's pretty solid. I painted this one to see what it would look like. I think it's come out pretty well, but again, they both warped. I thought maybe it was because there was too much sand and too much stuff on top, so I just coated another piece of card in PVA and sprinkled some dried sand on top. But again, not very reliable, it comes off. Plus there's all these larger pieces, which when painted would show up. I wasn't happy with that. I did make these pieces, I haven't highlighted them. I tried painting these pieces with PVA and acrylic paint to seal them. But again, not flat enough, it's warped. I haven't put the highlight colour on, but I just thought I'd give it a go. There's a difference in textures. Bought myself a sieve, sieved some sand, which led me to thinking of a piece of wood which I couldn't find, and then I thought a chopping board, like a plastic chopping board. So I thought I'll go and purchase one of those. I found these mats. So I used the bottom, because this side is quite glossy and the other side was quite matte. So already there was a rough surface for the PVA to stick to. I sanded the surface. I coated it in a nice layer of PVA, then I sprinkled my sieved sand on top. Once that was dry, I mixed PVA with black acrylic paint and painted the whole thing black, just to give it that extra security. Once that was dry, I then began to add my layers of paint to create this effect. To paint the surface of this, I used a brush this size, but to get the final highlight layer, I used a brush this size. It did take me a long time, but it's worth it just to get all those little details that you can pick up with the texture of the sand once it's down. In the middle here, it is a bit flat. I prefer these pieces here. There are some brush marks still left. So just take your time don't rush. And luckily it hasn't warped, it's still flat and it's bendable still. I'm very happy with how this has come out. I now have a larger surface area for me to place my machines and have somewhere for the figures to stand and do whatever they're doing. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that it's been helpful and will inspire you to get making, get creating, and get painting. Please leave any comments down below, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.